The 54 Immortals crush all opposition.
YouTube, what is going on? It's Donatus here from the 54 Immortals. Today I'm joined by Caspus Splix and Naughty and M, or Nim, and we're going to be hopping over to tiermaker.com. We're doing a tier list of all the Marvel movies and shows to date, including Black Widow. I'm going to keep the intro short. We've got a pretty long video ahead, so stay tuned. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of Marvel, if you agree, if you disagree. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
All right. First up, Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you guys think of that?
Personally, just a very fun movie. Honestly, I think it's like one of the more fun projects they've made, just kind of like memes all around. I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was like one of the first like really goofy MCU movies.
Yeah.
James Gunn killed it on that. If I had to put it in one, I'm gonna say A tier.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then when I saw it, I was like, wow, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
So I kind of had low expectations, I'm not going to lie. I'd never heard of any of these characters before, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great movie all around. So I think A tier for sure.
Agreed.
All right, what about Age of Ultron? What do you guys think of that one?
Everyone kind of like hates on that one as like the worst Avengers film, which maybe it was, but I still think it's fire. Like, I really liked it, to be honest.
Agreed.
I'd also put that one in A.
Yeah.
Just because I really like kind of like Quicksilver in it, and Wanda, obviously.
Yeah, I liked Ultron as a villain.
Yeah, he was
Overall, I
great.
thought he was pretty interesting, pretty cool. It kind of sucks how like he was just kind of a one-off, like one movie villain, whereas like the comics, he's like a long-lasting, like, known villain. But here he's just kind of like snuffed out. But yeah, I would definitely put it in A tier. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm cool with A tier on this one too.
Yeah, same. I mean, like a lot of people do say that it is like the worst Avengers movie, but when you're comparing anything to Avengers 1, 3, and 4, it's like
Yeah.
a really hard comparison to make. So it might not be as good as those other ones, but it's still like so good. So yeah, I think A tier for sure. I mean, that movie's so enjoyable, and Quicksilver was great. I really wish we kind of like Ultron, like kind of sad that he was only around for a short amount of time.
Next up, Ant-Man. For me, Ant-Man, he's a cool character, but honestly, I'd put him in B tier. I think is where he belongs right away. I don't know. It's a great film. Don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't stand out as much as some of the other movies in the series.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree. I think, I mean, from like just a general like movie perspective, I would put it like B tier. I think in the way we're scaling this, like if you put it in the general like overall scope of the MCU, I would put it like C tier-ish. I thought it was good, but I don't know. I just thought it was alright. I think the Ant-Man movies are kind of boring in relation to everything else, but I would put it like C or B, I guess.
Yeah, I'd probably go B tier with this one. This is another one that I didn't have real high hopes for going in, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually enjoyed it. I thought Yellow Jacket was a pretty good villain. Definitely not one of the best MCU villains, but I thought he was good. I really like the supporting cast, like Ant-Man's little crew of criminals. Like they're really enjoyable, with like T.I. and Michael Pena. But yeah, I'd probably say B tier for this one. It's enjoyable,
definitely
but
appropriate.
I'd rather watch Age of Ultron or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Next up, Civil War.
Mm.
What do you guys think?
Civil
I mean,
War
I
might
think
be S tier for me.
I think this is an easy S tier. I think this is arguably the
I
best.
concur.
Like arguably like the best in the series in the whole movie series. Like I just think it's
Well, it
Yeah.
sparked
like
so much.
between. I mean, yeah, it started so much in the MCU. Like
Yeah, but also like amongst fans, like people could choose a side. You know what I mean? Like there was
Yeah, that's
like
true. There was a
Team
whole
Iron Man,
true.
like
Team Captain
event.
America.
Yeah, it had
Yeah,
It
like the
was like a
most
big
fan.
deal. Yeah,
It had the most fan engagement out of like any
for
Marvel
sure.
for
movie.
sure, yeah. And
And
also the
this
fact that
the
it's
scenes were
like
insane.
basically an Avengers movie
Yeah, it's
and
like an
it's
Avengers movie.
technically a Captain America movie, but the cast is so big that they just
Also,
like gave us a gift with
Spider-Man.
that. Yeah, true.
Spider-Man. Oh my God.
Spider-Man is sick.
Yeah, I think Civil War is an easy S tier. That movie's
Yeah,
so
I'm
good.
totally with that. Movie had a little bit of everything for everyone,
Yeah.
and everyone kind of had their own little subplots going on, like with Black Panther coming in for his own personal reasons, and like
Yeah,
there's
and
so many different twists.
you also have like the birth of the beef between Bucky and Sam, which obviously continued in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So even just like
Yeah,
small subplots like that ended up having a pretty big effect on the future.
oh, for sure.
All right, next up, Doctor Strange. What do you guys think?
For me, Doctor Strange was such a good movie. Like,
So good.
honestly, easy A for me. Like, if not S, honestly. I know it's gonna kind of seem crazy. I loved Doctor Strange. His character arc, like, starting off as like an arrogant, cocky, like surgeon, and then being completely humbled, and then being completely reshaped by the end of the film. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it did so much justice to his character, and like, it was really well done.
Yeah,
And
I would
also
Yeah,
opened up a
I would
little
say
bit of a
S tier.
multiverse too.
I would. I completely agree with Splix. I think it's definitely upper A. Like I think it's like definitely one of my favorites. I thought it was just so cool. Like all the characters, all the effects, like with the magic, are just so
Yeah,
sick.
so cool.
It's like the first movie of its
Definitely,
time, kind of too, with all the like
yeah,
near dimension like shit coming at you.
yeah.
It's awesome.
I wouldn't say S tier. It's definitely one of my favorites, but compared to some of the other S tiers, I don't think it belongs. But it's definitely A
That's
tier.
fair enough. Yeah. All right, I'll put it in A tier. I could go either way on this. I could see it as an S tier. I think it's really enjoyable. It's just like, especially from like a movie perspective, it's like a really good film too.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, I'm excited for the second one too. I think that's gonna be really good. All right, what do you guys think about Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely a good follow-up. Just not as good as the first one. I would put it B tier.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I liked it, just not as much as the first. So I'd put it B tier.
Yeah, I kind of felt like this one was not forced, but I just felt like it was weaker, one of the weaker entries.
Yeah, I
I don't know,
agree.
it was fun, but it kind of like played too much on the success of the first one, I felt, and it was a little bit too corny for me. I'd put it low B. Still a fun movie.
Yeah, I actually I remember being really disappointed the first time I saw it. Um, I thought Ego kind of took over a lot of the movie where he didn't need to.
All right, next one, Spider-Man. Is that Spider-Man Homecoming?
That's Homecoming,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorites. I think it's easy A tier, near like Doctor Strange. I think it's just super fun. Spider-Man's so sick.
Yep.
Uh, the Vulture, like Michael Keaton, is actually like one of my favorite villains in the MCU. I think he's
Yeah.
like so like just such a good character.
Like, I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite superheroes. Honestly, with Homecoming, like I don't want to say they did Spider-Man dirty, but I feel like they made him, and I know that's kind of the point. You make him mess up a lot and like have to learn because he's young and whatever. But I just felt they made him a little bit too like irresponsible, and I know that's kind of what they're going for. It's probably my least favorite Spider-Man movie. Like even going back, like other than like Spider-Man 2, like The
Really.
Amazing Spider-Man. But honestly, it didn't really do it for me. That's not to say that I think Tom Holland's a worse Spider-Man than Andrew Garfield or anything like that, but I don't know. It wasn't one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, for me, I
Wasn't
think
really in love with it.
the irresponsibility part was like I liked it. Like he felt like a kid. My problem with
Yeah,
the
I could
first two
see it.
series, first two Spider-Man movies, like movie series, uh, it's just like grown men, like playing this like high schooler
Yeah.
that like is not a high schooler. And
Yeah,
to me,
Tom
like
Holland
one of
definitely
my
feels more realistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite part about Tom Holland is like that it feels like he looks like a high schooler. Like he doesn't look like a child or a man that like is playing a high schooler.
Yeah. Um, for me, I would agree with. I think this is a high A. Like you said, Nim, Michael Keaton, Vulture is such a good villain. Michael Keaton is a phenomenal actor.
Such a good
I'm really
actor.
hoping we see him again.
Thor Ragnarok up next. Ooh, what do you guys think?
For me, Thor Ragnarok is the most rewatchable movie
Agreed.
in the MCU.
Ever.
I would say easy S tier for me. This movie is just so good. It's so fun. I love the
I
fact that they
mean,
brought in Taika too to direct it,
Yeah,
who
it
at
was
that
so
time
weird.
was like some random New Zealand guy who had only done like indie movies, comedies, and they're bringing him in to do like
Yeah,
a huge movie, and he did such a good job.
well,
I
and you gotta think of
actually
this
killed him.
movie's like positioning in the like MCU timeline as well. It had to precede like Infinity War and like it just really had to set everything up. And not only did they do that and like have it end in a perfect place and have everything kind of add up in order to get there, but they also did it in like a really fun way, right?
Yeah.
Which was like it wasn't a given. It's not like this is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the other Thor movies are so serious. So like completely giving it a different tone and like just like was incredible because it worked flawlessly and then it also just had huge implications for the future. So I think it's easy S for me as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think yeah, I mean it was just like a way more fun version of Thor. I think it made Thor so much more interesting. He was easily
Yeah.
my least favorite Avenger, like going in, because I thought he was just kind of bland, like no personality.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
now he's
He's very
just,
bland.
and then it turned him into an absolute badass. Now he's like one of my favorites.
I think Black Panther too. Moving on, I would also say easy S. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, phenomenal. I'm a huge Michael B. Jordan fan too, and I think Killmonger was a really good villain. I really enjoyed him. I hope we see him again too, maybe down the line. But such a good movie, different vibe again. Ryan Coogler is a really good director too, so he did a great job.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Black Panther in A tier for me personally. I think some of the CGI was kind of, in my opinion, kind of lacking. Like I watch a ton of in-depth videos like afterwards after I watch these Marvel movies and they break down everything. And maybe I'm getting very nitpicky, but like I thought some of it was kind of like a little fake. Like the ending fight scenes like in Wakanda were just kind of like eh to me.
Yeah, the ending
And like
fight scene was
even
scuffed.
CGI aside, I feel like they were kind of like bland. It was just like two CGI suits whacking at each other. Um, that being said, such a good, such a good like plot. It was terrific, and of course Chadwick Boseman was just an awesome actor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with A tier. I think it's like really good. I thought it was like a really interesting plot, and I thought it was really like cool to see like a whole different side of the MCU, like in Wakanda, and like it opened just so many doors into like just a new part of that world and like a new culture and everything. And I don't know, the one thing about it, or I guess a couple things is like you said, like the CG I think was kind of weird, and then uh I think the villain, I know a lot of people love Killmonger, like Thanatos loves him.
Me.
I think he was I think I don't know. I liked him a lot, but I just didn't. I don't think he deserves to be in like the top rankings of like villains in the MCU. Like a
Well, I
lot of
think
people
everyone
think
kind of
he's the best.
overreacts because it's
Yeah,
Michael B. Jordan, and everyone's like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
my God." But yeah, to me, it's like I don't want Michael B. Jordan to be the bad guy, so I was kind of turned off by that too a little bit.
All right,
But yeah,
I'll put it in
definitely
A tier
really
because
good
that's what you
movie.
guys were saying. I could agree with it. I would say high A tier, low S tier for me.
Mm.
Um, okay, Avengers: Infinity War. I don't really think I need to explain S tier.
Yeah, that's just S tier. I mean, we're saying like the obvious here, where it's like, oh, you're just putting the most popular ones like an S, but like, yeah,
I
they're
mean,
most
they're
popular
popular
for a
for a
reason.
reason. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Had a little bit of everything.
I
It's like
mean,
the first movie where they actually lost, you know, and I don't think a lot of people were, some people weren't anticipating that, especially the casuals. They're probably like, what's going on? But I mean, it was awesome.
yeah, I mean that movie's huge and it lived up to its expectations. And Thanos was
Absolutely.
just such a sick villain.
The
Yep.
first time you
It was
see
so
Thanos was like so intimidating.
it was actually insane seeing him for the first time in live action. Like that was so crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the CGI was so sick.
Yeah.
CG,
Everything
yeah.
about that movie is just so great. The one thing,
Ugh.
I mean, they obviously like mended this in Endgame, but I wish they focused a little bit more on some of the other Avengers too. I would have liked to see a little more Captain America and Infinity War personally, but
Yeah,
Agreed.
I can agree with that.
all right, I think another non-negotiable Iron Man S tier.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would put it in A tier, like high A tier, but I can definitely see S tier. I mean, it paved the way for literally everything.
Yeah.
yeah. For me, my favorite entry in the entire Infinity Saga, definitely.
Interesting.
I've rewatched this movie more times than I can count, and I'm always finding like little things like after watching Tony Stark's entire character arc, you look back and you see his roots and how he was before, and it's just awesome. Like see how
Yeah.
far he's come, and I've really. So I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is I think my favorite actor ever. So yeah, I mean, it was great.
Enough said.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm not gonna lie, this might be the first C tier.
Yeah,
I
I already
agree.
have it. I'm way ahead of you. Like we go from great to terrible, probably the worst
I think
entry.
it's just, I think it's kind of like a lot of the same thing as Ant-Man 1, but just worse. Like
Yeah, I think the
villain.
villain was way worse. I was not a fan of the villain at all in this one.
Well, what is the only thing
I think a lot.
people remember
Yeah.
from it, right?
I
It's
remember
the
him being
post-credit scene
giant. Yeah.
where they're all snapped away.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
only part people liked was the part that is basically just Infinity War.
I like
Yeah.
seeing like obviously like the Wasp, like that was cool with
True. I
Evangeline
like.
Lilly getting a little bit of credit there, but at the end of the day, like it's just a worse Ant-Man. You said it
Yeah.
right. Like, okay,
Uh,
Captain Marvel, I think another C tier. I
Another C
really
tier for
didn't
me.
like this one. Um,
D for
right.
me.
I won't say I didn't like it, but I don't know. It just like Captain Marvel, like I didn't really find her to be really like enjoyable. Like I
No.
wasn't like rooting for her. Like I couldn't sympathize with the character at all.
It's because, and this might trigger some people, but it needs to be said that
oh no.
Oh
this is
no.
just my opinion. I can't speak for you guys, so don't blame them. Blame me if you're mad. But I don't like how like these movies start with like a woman that is super cocky and all this stuff where it's I don't it could be a man too, but like in this case it was a woman who's super cocky even when they're not super powerful. So why am I rooting for you if you're given these powers but you were already like I'm the best, like I could handle myself. I don't want to root for someone like that. I want to root for someone who has like a nice character arc or round arc who like comes around, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Also, I just don't like Brie Larson as an actor. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think they tried to parallel like Steve Rogers in like the first Captain America movie where he's like he stands up for people even when his powers aren't like or I mean when he's powerless and then all of a sudden he gets jacked up and he becomes something like becomes this like superhero. But for like Captain Marvel, she was kind of just like an annoying like character before, and then
I
after she
totally
got her
agree.
powers, she just became more like entitled. I guess C.
Dude,
It
I'm
was
not gonna lie, like I would have so much trouble making a Marvel movie D tier. Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's do C. That's fine.
Because even the worst ones are just like, all right,
yeah, it's
cool
still Marvel.
explosions, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Endgame, S tier. Like, it's it's Endgame. Like, it's such a good movie. Especially from a film perspective. Like, if you're comparing Infinity War to Endgame, like Infinity War is action packed, it's fast paced, it's really fun, and Endgame, another something kind of similar to Doctor Strange. It's just like a really good movie.
And the
Yeah,
fact
I
that we had
think
so many questions in Infinity War, and then
yeah,
they were all pretty much all the loose ends were tied by
Yep.
the end of Endgame in 3 hours was just incredible. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nim, I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah. I mean, Endgame is like probably the like most anticipated movie ever, and then for it to
Yeah.
deliver, like you have to give it extra points for that. Like, it's literally like it is the biggest movie ever. Like,
Yeah,
I know like other
Yeah.
movies do better at the box office, but in terms of like literally like the media and everything, like it's the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
and sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, like, I wouldn't say Endgame is my favorite MCU movie, but I would say that it is the best MCU movie.
I can agree with that for sure. I was just gonna say, as good as it was, I still found one thing that I was upset about, and that was that they kind of did Hulk dirty, in my opinion. I wanted
True,
to see
I
Hulk
agree.
go insane at the end of that movie.
Yeah, I mean they did have like an arc where it's like, oh, don't like the Hulk doesn't just want to be used for fighting, but like, I mean Thanos trying to destroy the Earth, like get a little
Yeah,
bigger, but
get angry. Yeah. Spider-Man: Far From Home, the next one. What do you guys think?
I enjoyed Far From Home. I don't think it lives up to Homecoming.
agreed.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal a lot. He's a good actor. I think Mysterio is an interesting villain. I don't know about like a great villain, but I mean also the end with the whole like revealing Peter Parker's identity was really cool.
Personally, I have a really hard time putting any Spider-Man movie below A tier because I just love Spider-Man. But I guess I can agree with that. Um, just because, I don't know, I thought the plot was and I really thought it would have more implications, like, going forward. You know what I mean? I felt
Yeah,
like it was kind of lacking. It was just like a fun Spider-Man movie in itself, and I guess that was the goal coming after Infinity War or Endgame, I meant, sorry. But I don't know. I still think it's a good movie just because Spider-Man's in it.
yeah, I guess I would agree. I would agree with B tier. I think I kind of want to put it. I'll agree with B tier, but I kind of want to put it in like an A minus, just because
Yeah.
of like the visual effects aspect.
Really good,
Like the
yeah.
VFX in that were literally like groundbreaking. Like I think that
Yeah.
movie was like the first movie to cross into the threshold of just straight up like photorealistic VFX. Like there would be shots in that movie that literally for no reason would use CG and you would have no idea. Like it would just be like Tom Holland or Peter Parker like getting in a car and driving off. Then you do like the VFX breakdown and you see like literally like everything other than Tom Holland and like the sky is all VFX and it's like what the like what is that? Like
Yeah. Like,
but
I just
it
look at
is.
it and I look at B tier, and it is so much better than Ant-Man
Yeah, it
Guardians of the
is.
Galaxy.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Like, I feel
It
like
feels wrong
there's,
putting it in B tier, but
yeah,
it's
I
just
kind of agree, but at the same time, I don't think it's on the level as like Black Panther, Doctor Strange,
yeah.
Homecoming. Like, I feel like
that's
Agreed.
also
there
fair to
should be
say.
like a tier
High
in
B is
between
good with
them
me.
for
I
Far
feel
From
like
Yeah,
Home.
B
it's
plus. I'd
definitely
say a B plus.
Yeah,
Minus.
yeah.
We can put it B plus. It's fine.
yeah,
Agreed.
that's in between A and B. All right, what about WandaVision? What do you guys think?
I'd put it in B personally. I was kind of disappointed because I feel like with like a Disney Plus show, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because the first episodes are always going to be just a tease to get you to watch more of it. I mean, it's how a show has to run versus a movie. You can just put everything out there because it's all going to get, you're going to watch it all in one go. But WandaVision for like the first 3 or 4 episodes, like only gave you like a tiny little taste of what was actually going to come for the last two.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned me off a little bit. I was just like, I was waiting so long, and then finally, like, I get to the 4th episode, and not much is happening, and you're just like, you can only speculate so much, and it kind of was just like, all right, I'm over this. So I'll give it a B. It wasn't bad, but, and it's gonna set up the future, but not
Yeah,
my favorite.
I'm gonna agree with you in B. I'm gonna say like upper B, kind of near like Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, it did a really good job at like keeping me hooked on, like wondering what's gonna happen next and not understanding really what's going on fully. But once it kind of was all said and done, it was kind of like okay, that was
Underwhelming.
pretty good. I mean, yeah, once you kind of knew what was happening and everything was kind of revealed, it was kind of anticlimactic. I thought Vision was really cool.
Hmm.
Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany were absolutely amazing in that show.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
actually 10 out of 10 amazing. Uh, like just acting in all the time periods and all that, but I would put it overall in B.
Yeah, I would agree with B tier. I was really invested in the show. I think part of that was I was like really hooked on all like the fan theories and like Mephisto and all that kind of stuff. Which I think was part of the reason why I didn't like it as much as I might have. Because I was kind of let down by everything. Like the thing that I didn't love about it was like there wasn't really like a clear villain or anything. It was more just kind of like confusion and like getting questions answered for the first like 7 episodes, and then for like the second half of the 8th episode and then the 9th episode, like Agatha is the villain. But other
Mm.
than that, like there wasn't really like a lot of opposition, which is fine. I think they did a really good job without it, honestly. But I don't know. It was kind of underwhelming. But also these shows are so momentary for me. Like at the time, they're all so enjoyable. But then looking back, I don't love them as much as I did during.
Agreed. That's how I think of it.
Yep.
Moving on, Falcon the Winter Soldier. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna honestly just put it in B tier, like
I agree.
maybe lower B tier. I thought WandaVision was better, but I thought it was pretty good. Uh, I don't know. I think the villain kind of was treated too nicely overall.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, in the end, they were kind of like treating her as if, oh, you're doing the right thing. Or you're doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, in the end, she was blowing up buildings and killing
Yeah.
like innocent people. That really bugged me. I think so. I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier in it. I think they did really. I think they were pretty good. U.S. Agent was like a really sick character,
Yep.
but I mean, outside of that, I didn't really like anyone that much. I thought Sharon Carter was kind of a letdown.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they do anything with that.
Mm.
Same with I'm excited to see Wyatt Russell again as John Walker. I like that character. But overall, yeah, I would agree with B tier.
Moving on to Black Widow, I haven't seen it, so personally can't give my opinion on it.
Uh, then also I will quickly glance over it, or we'll quickly
Yeah.
talk about it without giving any
No
spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah.
It just came out. Um, I really enjoyed it. I would put it like between A and B. Um,
Um.
I guess it's up to you for that, but I think Scarlett Johansson's really good. Florence Pugh is really good. All the characters in it were really interesting. Uh, all the main like characters were really interesting.
Yeah. I'm gonna say B tier, just because I haven't had the opportunity to see it multiple times. So
I only saw it a couple days ago. I haven't really had a lot of time to formulate my like extended thoughts on it, but short term, really enjoyable. Yeah, like Nim said, I think the acting was really well done. Um, I don't really want to say anything else because I don't want to ruin it for Splix.
Yeah.
So I would say B tier, but I think after a rewatch, it probably has the potential to move up to an A tier.
How about Loki?
Loki.
Obviously not done yet.
Loki is honestly, if I had to pick like a favorite character in the MCU, it might be Loki. He's so complex. He's always entertaining. I think the show is really well done. I'm really looking forward to the finale this week. I would probably say A tier for this one, just because I think it's above WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But if there is that like middle ground, like the B plus, where like Far From Home is at, I would probably put it there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's not done yet. It just left off on like a really good episode, like probably my favorite one yet. And
I feel like the finale's gonna
really
be
like it so
kind of
far.
nutty.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it's leading to a
I'm-
lot, and I'm really excited. I think so
Yeah.
far I'm enjoying it the most out of all the shows. I would probably put it A tier.
Yeah, I'll put it A tier. The Incredible Hulk, that's probably a C tier for me. Honestly, it's not something
I'm
I
gonna
really
agree.
rewatch often, if at all.
I've probably seen it like twice or 3 times.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like everything else on this list, I've probably seen at least 5 or 6 times, except for
Yeah.
the shows. But
I'm cool on the Hulk. Like, I got no
It's
beef
alright.
with you, but like, I don't need to see you again. You know?
yeah, I'm also not a big Ed Norton fan. Like I've heard he was kind of an
Yeah.
asshole on set,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the reason why he isn't the Hulk anymore. And I really enjoy Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. All right, what do you guys think about
Yeah,
Iron Man
definitely
2?
see. Um, I'm gonna be honest for this one. I know Thanatos really. This is
I
Thanos'
really
favorite.
enjoy Iron Man 2.
I'm gonna put it in like a B tier. Like honestly, like a lower B tier for me. I think it's fun. I think it's really fun, but going through like all the MCU movies, I think it's just kind of like, I guess, a little too campy. It definitely feels like a Jon Favreau movie, if I've ever seen one. And I really like Jon Favreau. It just feels a little too like campy and on the nose for me. So I would put it B tier.
Splix.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot for it. B tier, just because it had to follow up from Iron Man, which is just such a good movie, and
Yeah.
honestly, this one's pretty forgettable. There's the whole switch up with Rhodey being new, so I mean, I'm good. I'm good with B tier.
Yeah, I'll agree with B tier. I thought it was really entertaining. I like Justin Hammer's character. I like Whiplash. You obviously have Natasha
My boy.
Romanoff. You have Natasha Romanoff coming in, which is great, and I really like Don Cheadle. I'm not a huge Terrence Howard fan. So I like those additions / changes. Thor, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people hate on Thor. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a good movie. I like how it's dark. Kenneth Branagh, again, like such a weird choice for a director, but I think he did a really good job. The whole like Jotunheim scene when Thor and Loki go there
Yeah.
and just like tear shit up is
Slay it.
so entertaining. Like I could rewatch that scene every day and never get sick of it. And yeah, just like I don't know, the characters are really enjoyable in that one for me. I feel like especially Thor, like he's so much more enjoyable in this than he is in some of the other movies like Thor 2 or even Avengers 1. Like I think they did a good job with his character in this one. And again, like Loki is one of my favorite characters in the MCU, so I love seeing them interact with each other.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree with Loki's one of my favorite, but also Heimdall's like one of my
Oh,
favorites.
I
as well.
love Heimdall.
I love Heimdall.
True.
He's such
So
a
any
savage.
movie with him in it, like That's a guy right there. I'm not gonna lie. But I'd put it in B.
Yeah, it's tough to rank this one. Like it has some slow sections, so it's not as like fast paced and action packed as the other ones. So I would probably agree with B tier.
Um, yeah, I would put it in B. I liked a lot of it. It brought us Loki. Loki was really good in it. I think Thor is just better when he's in the spotlight. I think, yeah, in like the Avengers movies where you don't really see much of him and he just has the occasional like one-liner that
Yeah.
isn't that funny. It's okay, but
Hmm.
definitely B tier.
Captain America: First Avenger.
Hmm. I'm honestly gonna put it in like E or A. I know a lot of people hate this movie. They think it's like really bad. I think I really like it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you.
I think it makes a lot of what makes Captain America such a special character. So, and I think it's just like a good I don't know. I like Captain America a lot. It's my favorite. So,
Yeah, me too.
I think it like shines light on a lot of like what's good about his character. I know a lot of the kind of main plot of the stories is alright. I just like what it does for Steve Rogers as a whole. I think he's a really good character, and that like
Yeah.
brings the best out of him.
Yeah, that movie is honestly more of like a Steve Rogers movie than it is a Captain America movie. Um, I
Yeah,
really enjoy it. It's not as rewatchable for me as some of the other Captain Americas or other MCU movies, but I would agree with like a low A, high B.
yeah, I can get behind that. I'm Team Iron Man, so I kind of got a little vendetta against Captain America. Not one of my favorite characters. I still like him as a character, definitely. Um, and I think this does a good job of portraying his character and his origins and all that. So, yeah, high B for sure for me. Low A even.
I'll leave it in B, but I think yeah, high B, low A. All right, what about just Avengers?
Ah, this is probably unpopular. I didn't really like it. I feel like there's a lot of like things that don't make sense in it. Like, how would Loki know to like trigger the Hulk? It just seems kind of like, or even if he knew, how would he like that wouldn't trigger him? You know what I mean? A lot of it just is kind of like I feel like the plot doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why would they nuke New York? I just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'd give it like a low B for me, honestly. It was my least favorite Avengers film.
Interesting.
Obviously, it's
Um,
OG and it's all the heroes on the big screen for the first time and all that. I get it. But I'm not one for nostalgia like that. Like, I'm good with just if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I don't need all that extra stuff, personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree actually with B tier. I think it's probably my least favorite Avengers movie. I think the one thing it has going for it is just how like revolutionary it is. Like
Yeah.
seeing like having all these solo movies and then bringing them all together like so well. And
Yeah.
it set up so much like outside of the movie so well, but in terms of the movie itself, I think it's B tier. I think it's fun, but like you said, a lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it is very
Well,
like
it is revolutionary,
campy.
but
But
the
yeah,
movie itself
yeah, the movie itself
actually
is B
better
tier, I would say.
than
I don't think it's better than
say, I
Age
don't
of
know.
Ultron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny now, like looking back on it and thinking about it, like at the time, like at least for us now, like we've had Infinity War and Endgame, which have like 30 heroes in them, but like at Avengers 1, we're like, oh my god, all six of them. And now it's like, okay, every
Yeah.
superhero is gonna be in this movie. Like it doesn't seem like as big now as it did back then, but at the time it was like so revolutionary.
Yeah.
For me
I
personally, I'm a
um
huge fan of all the Avengers movies. I'd probably put it in A, but I could agree with the B tier. I think it's probably the least enjoyable out of all the Avengers movies.
How about Iron Man 3?
Alright, I'll get my take out of the way. I'm gonna go straight out of the gate and say C tier. I think this is the worst Iron Man movie. I honestly just I think the plot's kind of stupid. I think the villain's stupid. The whole like, oh, I'm the Mandarin. It's just like some dude that like is hot for some reason.
Ben
Makes
Kingsley.
lava or whatever. Yeah. Uh, it was I don't know. I think the one of like I think like Iron Man as a character is really cool, and the one time he was like Iron Man for like one moment was when he was like saving those people falling out of like an airplane, and then
Yeah.
it just reveals that like it was just a drone.
Yeah.
That was like such a slap in the face. I think a lot of like what makes Iron Man cool like wasn't in this movie, and I don't know. I thought it was just C
That's
tier
a
for
really
me.
good take on it. For me, I feel like Iron Man 3 is the type of movie that when you're just surfing through like cable television, Iron Man 3 is like the one movie
Yeah.
on like FX
Yes.
that you'll like be like, oh, and then you like never actually watch the full movie. You just like see like the same
That's
scenes over and over
such a
again.
good comparison, honestly.
like it's fine. It's like a Marvel movie, you know, but it's just like the base level, like the
Yeah.
free trial Marvel movie that you watch. And you're
Yeah.
just like, I've
Um,
probably seen it once in full, so
I have like I honestly I'm just like reluctant to say it's a C tier because it's Iron Man and like it's so hard to not like Robert Downey Jr. and just Iron Man, but I mean it is a C tier movie. Like it's just really not that good.
Yeah. All right.
Thor: The Dark World, I would say C tier as well.
C tier
I
for
think the
me.
villain's really underwhelming. Thor is like not all that entertaining in this, especially compared to what he did in the first Thor and even the Avengers. He was honestly like more entertaining than he was in the Dark World.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say the one thing I liked about from this movie is just kind of like the growth of Thor and Loki as a character. Kind of like,
Yeah.
especially Loki, just kind of fleshes him out more as like as who he is. But yeah, I thought the rest of it was kind of villain and everything.
Yep.
meh.
See, yeah, move on.
All right. Honestly, I think we're ending on a good note here with Winter Soldier. Personally, I would say S tier for this one. I really like this movie. Winter Soldier is a great character to watch. Um, you obviously have like Nick Fury and Black Widow helping out. Chris Evans is just an absolute demon. So, Winter Soldier is so great.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
agree.
loved Winter Soldier.
Uh,
Winter Soldier.
I'll go. Uh, yeah, easy S tier for me. This is my favorite in the MCU. I
Yeah.
would say either this or Ragnarok. Probably this though. I think it just has everything good about like everything about Captain America is shown in it. Like, just Chris Evans is phenomenal. It brings in like Falcon, who's obviously like a important character now.
Yeah.
I don't know, everything about this movie I love. I think it's like closest thing to a perfect movie in the MCU, in my opinion.
I just love Winter Soldier. He's such a badass.
Yeah, he is.
I
And
feel
also
like
like
Falcon's kind of nerdy. That's why I didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's too much Falcon, but like Captain America and
Yeah.
the Winter Soldier, like
I love
yes,
Bucky
let's go.
Barnes.
Captain America and Winter Soldier were like duking it out, and that's just what you love to see. Falcon can take his backseat as a little Robin sidekick. You know what I mean?
Also, like you have the Russo brothers coming in and doing their first Marvel movie, and they are
Yeah.
obviously like, I mean, words can't
The
describe
best,
like how
yeah.
good. Yeah. If you guys had to pick like out of all the MCU movies, your number one favorite.
Yeah. Anyone new? Comment your favorite movie. Comment your worst take, or which one of ours you disagree with the most.
Yeah.
Like
Or if you have any
if-
crazy
let's
takes
say
too.
Captain America or Captain Marvel is your favorite. You think that should be S tier?
Oh,
Let
no.
us know. Tell us. Say 54I. You're awful.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's S tier.
I
even though it
gotta.
isn't.
So Nim, you said Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right?
My favorite, yeah.
And Thanos, what about you?
If I had to pick my favorite, I would probably pick Ragnarok. I think that's
And
probably
I'd
my
pick
favorite.
the
Solid.
OG Iron Man. I'd pick the OG Iron.
Started from the bottom.
Solid.
Yeah, I mean
So-
it's so hard to go wrong.
3 S tiers.
All right, well, yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. Appreciate you
it's been a
guys
minute.
stopping by. Let us know what you think in the comments below if you're a fan of Marvel, if you're not, and if you're not, you should be.
You probably wouldn't be watching to this point
Yeah.
if you're not.